Hello and welcome back to episode 2. I'm Flavia Gesmerlan and I'm delighted to continue with module 4 of the Green Agritainment video course. In this episode, we will be addressing and learning how to solve another common problem. Facts are important, yet facts alone do not carry attention from stop to stop. By the end of this session, we will learn about having a simple narrative that connects your stops and small curiosity moments that pull people forward, and of course, how to design both with purpose. We will learn how to write a one-phrase story spine, choose 3 curiosity moves, and place them exactly where attention tends to drop. You only need your notebook and a pen. So let's begin. Stories act like rails that guide attention. They reduce mental effort by arranging moments into before, change, result. Curiosity acts like a gentle magnet. It pulls attention towards the next stop. Together, they make your visit feel coherent instead of random. Today, we keep language plain and local. We will write a one-phrase story spine and we will select 3 curiosity moves that fit your route. A story spine is a single guiding phrase that connects all your stops into one clear journey. What it serves? It gives guests a roadmap in their minds so they always know where we came from, what is changing now, and where we are going next. Why should you do it? Because when visitors sense a clear through line, they spend less effort trying to understand the plan and more effort engaging with you and your facility. Now, let's get some hands-on practice. Please grab your pen and paper. We will write 5 short parts that together form your story spine. Let me walk you through the structure. We begin with once there was, and I need you to complete this sentence with a real place or crop. For example, once there was a tomato bed on a sunny slope. Number 2, every day. And this is where you fill out the routine or the problem. For example, every day the soil crusted and water ran off. Number 3, until. This is where you fill out with a decision or change visitors can see today. For example, until we tried mulching to keep roots cool. Number 4, because of that. This is what guests will do or sense. For example, because of that, the tomatoes held water and tasted richer. And for the last part, until finally. This is where you fill in the gap with the outcome that matters at home. For example, until finally we harvest more and waste less fruit. Let's hear that in full. Once there was a tomato bed on a sunny slope, but every day the soil crusted and water ran off until we tried mulching to keep roots cool. Because of that, the tomatoes held water and tasted richer until finally we harvest more and waste less fruit. Once you fill in the gaps and write your own story spine, read it aloud once. If it feels heavy, replace abstract words with simple ones and keep only one idea per beat. Your story spine is not a speech, it's a compass you will use along the route. Now, let's talk about curiosity. Curiosity moves are tiny prompts that create a question, a visible promise, or a quick action, so minds lean forward. Why they matter? Because they refresh attention without adding long explanations. What they serve? Well, they bridge the time and distance between stops and make waiting moments productive. And why you should use them? Because they are short, they are practical, and they work for all ages. Let's take a look at 3 very simple curiosity moves that you can start using right away. First, we have the open loop question. You ask a clear question now and answer it later. For example, which juice saves more water? Asked near the field and answered at a tasting. Why it works? An unfinished question creates small but healthy tension that attention naturally wants to resolve. Second, you use the mystery object. You show a simple object without explaining it yet. For example, a glass jar with soil and water that will settle into layers. Why it works? Because it's a visible object that anchors expectation and rewards patience when you reveal it. And last but not least, the micro challenge. You invite a 10-second action that proves a point. For example, smell 2 basil leaves and point to the stronger one. Why it works? A quick decision plus a small movement creates engagement for all ages. Keep each move between 10 seconds and 1 minute so it lifts energy without delaying the visit. Now let's get even more practical. Please take the tour map you drafted in episode 1. What we will do, we will position each move where it has the highest impact. Why this matters? Because a good move in the wrong place is often invisible. The right placement turns minutes of drift into minutes of engagement. Here's how to do it. Begin by finding the first down point on your notes. Place the open loop question before it so the question carries people through the low moment. For example, you could tell your guests, as we walk to the barn, think about this. Which juice saves more water? We will test it at the tasting. Then, identify a waiting area or queue on your map. Park your mystery objects there so eyes have somewhere to land while waiting. For example, you could tell your guests, you are seeing a soil jar. In a minute, I'll ask you to predict the layers. For the third curiosity move, choose a talk-heavy stop on your map. Insert the micro challenge at the start to switch on participation. You could tell your guests, smell these 2 leaves and point to the stronger one. Ready? Go. Close each curiosity loop with 1 sentence. Answer the open question at tasting, explain the jar at the barn, and link the micro challenge to your sustainability message. Why close the loop? Closure gives a tiny reward that the brain recognizes, and it builds trust that your promises are kept. Now, let's talk about the 12-word hook. This is a short promise that tells guests what quest they are on and what benefit they will feel, as the name suggests, in 12 words or fewer. Why it matters? It sets expectations, reduces confusion, and primes attention for the right details. How it serves you? It becomes the first sentence of your tour and the headline of your confirmation message. How to craft it? Using this simple structure: verb plus benefit plus time or constraint. For example, taste water savings in 1 sip. Find the seed that feeds bees. From soil to spoon in 7 minutes. Say your hook at the opening stop and repeat it once mid-tour. A good test is to ask one guest, can you repeat our promise in your own words? If they can, your hook works. The last attention technique I want to share today is the one-line pledge. This is a short, spoken commitment guests make at the end of the visit. Why it matters? Because people are more likely to act on a goal when they say it aloud. It also strengthens the peak end memory of the tour. How it serves you? It turns learning into a next step at home. How to do it? At the final stop, invite your guests to take a pledge, such as, at home, I will try 1 water-saving tip this week. Then offer them a verbal token by saying, your token today is the smell of basil. Remember it when you use water. You can later add printed cards or give them a few seeds, and that would be a bonus. But for now, the spoken ritual is enough. In this episode, we built a story spine. We selected 3 curiosity moves and placed them where attention tends to drop and wrote a clear hook and a pledge. In the next episode, we will explore 5 multi-sensory micro-activities that keep energy high using taste, touch, smell, movement, and quick decisions. Thank you for your attention today. Each adjustment you make, no matter how small, becomes a signal your guests can feel. These visible choices steady attention, create flow, and ensure that every step of the visit feels intentional, cared for, and memorable from gate to goodbye and beyond. Thank you.